So my name is Zaida Nogue. I'm the Veteran Service Advisor here at Camden County College. So I want to welcome everyone for coming out, and I want to take a moment to thank you all for coming out today. As Camden County College partnered with Camden County Veterans Affairs Office and the Camden County Veterans Advisory Committee in order to be able to present these POW MIA chairs here at the college. We've set one on September 15th at the Blackwood campus. Today we're setting this one up, and we're looking to do another one at our Cherry Hill campus in February in conjunction with a esports event for veterans that we hope to have there. So hopefully you all can be able to come out. It will be an evening event, so hopefully you guys will be able to come out there as well. I want to take the moment also to recognize the Camden County Foundation, because they donated the chairs for us so that we're able to have them at our locations.
Let us pray. Years roll by, memories fade as time goes on, and it becomes easy to forget what has gone before. We gather here today to confirm with this chair our duty to remember those who have not returned from our nation's wars. Let us
toast. Set. Two.
We will now have Isabel Gray, our very own Isabel Gray from the Blackwood Campus Library. She will be singing our national anthem for us, and she is also a Navy veteran.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
The republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you.
Thank you.
We are compelled to never forget that while we enjoy our daily pleasures, there are others who have endured and may still be enduring the agonies of pain, deprivation, and imprisonment. Before we begin our activities, we pause to recognize our POW MIAs. The candle is reminiscent of the light of hope, which lives in our hearts to illuminate their way home, away from their captors, to the open arms of a grateful nation. Remember the American flag. The American flag reminds us that many of them may never return and have paid the supreme sacrifice to ensure our freedom. Let us pray to the Supreme Commander that all of our comrades will soon be back within our ranks. Let us remember and never forget their sacrifice. May God forever watch over them, protect them and their families. Detail, retire.
Good afternoon. Thank you for joining us today for the dedication of the POW MIA chair here at Camden County College's Camden City campus. This commemoration is the result of a collaboration from the Camden County Office of Veterans Affairs, the Camden County Veteran Advisory Committee, the Camden County College Veteran Services Office, the Camden County Foundation, and members of our local veterans community. I thank you all for making this possible. POW MIA chairs are found across the United States in sports arenas and stadiums, town halls, and state capitals. They represent those service members who are unable to fill them because of their sacrifices. They also remind us of the individuals who serve our country every day. Over 81,500 Americans remain missing from World Wars I and II, the Korean War, the Vietnam War, the Cold War, the Gulf War, and other conflicts. 35 of those are missing from Camden County. May this chair serve as a reminder to us that although our service members may not be with us now, we will always reserve a place for them at Camden County College. Their sacrifice is not forgotten. Their names are in our hearts, and we proudly support their families and the veterans community. May God bless them, and may God bless the United States of America. Thank you.
Good afternoon. On behalf of my fellow Camden County Commissioners and the residents of Camden County, of which almost 25,000 have served in the military, thank you. It is wonderful to be here for the dedication of the POW MIA Chair and Missing Man Table. Several years ago, I had the opportunity to visit the Blackwood campus of the college to view the dedication of the first Purple Heart designated parking space. I was so impressed that the college, in conjunction with the hard work of Bill Moen and many others, recognized the importance and necessity to have these parking spaces available to Purple Heart recipients. Today, I continue to have great respect and admiration for those that made memorials such as this a priority at each of the college campuses. While preparing for remarks for the many events that I attend, I always go over in my mind what I want to say before I open my computer. For today's ceremony, I kept going back to January 23, 2010, when I heard the loud knocking on my front door, interrupting the quietness of a Saturday morning. 3 uniformed officers were there to inform me that my son Jeremy, a Marine in the Helmand province of Afghanistan, had been killed earlier that morning after stopping a suicide bomber whose mission was to kill as many Marines as possible. The next date that I will never forget is January 26th, when I stood on the tarmac at Dover Air Force Base, huddled with countless family members in single-digit temperatures. We stood motionless and silent as we watched the casket carrying the remains of my son carried from the plane, and he was returned back to the U.S. soil to his grieving family and friends. The last horrific day of that week was January 29th, when hundreds of mourners honored Jeremy at his funeral and graveside as he was buried at the cemetery, feet from where he had stood 18 months prior at the funeral of his father. I share these memories with all of you because this is the reality of war, which many of you here today know far too well. The other reality is that there are countless families in the history of our nation that do not have the finality of the knock on the door, the return of their loved one's body, and they do not have the opportunity to go to the grave of their father, son, husband, brother, or friend. We remember them in our hearts and when we fly the POW MIA flags and dedicate empty seats. Today, as we honor and remember those who have served our nation to defend our nation, I am reminded of the words of General George Patton. It is foolish and wrong to mourn the men who died. Rather, we should thank God that such men lived, and that is what we are doing today. Thank you.
Please stand.